Big D Entertainment, in association with Dipsy Doodle Productions, presents The Dave Holly Hour. Brought to you by Posh Boutique at the Bridges at 57th, The Sky in Tea, XL Chiropractic, Quality Nails, Jesse Moffitt Entertainment, and Sonny's Pizzeria. The Dave Holly Hour features Sioux Empire Arts and Entertainment conversations. A true lover of arts, entertainment, good food, and fun times, including an occasional Jack Daniels. Okay, so a few Jack Daniels. Here he is, Dave Holly.
Welcome, Sioux Empire Arts and Entertainment lovers, to episode 162. As per usual, great guests and conversations on the way, but first, a wee bit of news. Yes. Not only will I report on this and tell you about it, but I will be in it. I am going to be on the Premiere Playhouse stage in mid-February as part of the premieres, playing the part of radio personality Ray Davenport. Typecasting at its best, yes. As for the great guests in this show, in a few minutes, we talk with singer-songwriter Danica Michaels. Later in the hour, we hear from comedian Ian Reiland-Smith. Plus, we'll tell you who gets this week's honorable mention, as well as draw for another winner of Pizza with a Podcaster. But first, let's pop the cork on this bubbly little show.
Time to grab your favorite beverage, lift it high, and toast it to being Thursday, a.k.a. Weekend Eve.
Hey, the weekend isn't around the corner, it's here!
So long, hump day in your frumpy way. We say hello to Thursdays with opening nights. The weekend is near and we can see the bright lights. Yes, Thursday, you're so hearty, we can't wait for Friday, so a day early, we start the party.
Oh, lift 'em high, whether it's a mug of beer, a flute of champagne, a nice goblet of wine, a good, decent, remember when that used to be the size glass that you could get a decent highball drink? Or it's your cup of coffee, hot chocolate, whatever it may be, is mostly going to be dependent upon what time of the day you happen to be listening, huh? But lift them all up high to good neighbors and lending a hand. We had a week-long snowstorm last week, didn't we? And it just, it got to be a pain in the you-know-what. But many of us wouldn't have made it, literally, out of our driveways in some cases, if it hadn't have been for the help of neighbors. Our neighbor Cameron has a snowblower. Well, we have one that should be arriving now today because he's going to be gone for a while since he's a state legislator. But the young ladies that live down below us also pitched in with shoveling snow and helping move cars and everything. And then all the people that you would see helping others out during the snowstorm, helping them get wherever they needed to be and so forth. So thank you, everybody that pitched in, lended a hand, and just made life in the snowy Sioux Falls, South Dakota area a little bit easier to get through. All right, so thank you all. But right now, it's time to pick a lucky winner of Pizza with a Podcaster. Everyone that follows the Dave Holly Hour on Facebook or Instagram is automatically entered to win a free pizza from Sonny's Pizzeria. We draw a winner each week. This week, we say congratulations to Meg Cook. We'll be in touch with you, Meg, to get you all set up with some jowl-dropping, show-stopping thin crust pizza. Pizza with a Podcaster, brought to you by Sonny's Pizzeria, right across from USF at 26th and Waltz, and Sonny's at 81 on South Phillips. Check out the very fun and incredibly flavorful menu online, Sonny'sPizzeria.com. Honorable mention. All right. What made me smile, what made me laugh, what made me guffaw, or whatever you need, or just made me smile. You know, it's something that felt good, heartwarming and everything. this past week was to the audition process, to everybody that auditions for a show, because not everybody gets in one. I just happen to get lucky enough that I'm in one of the two premieres that are going to take place, and am thankful for that. But still thankful for everybody that tries out. Those people, everybody gets a pat on the back that takes their time to give of their gifts, to hopefully be in a show, to give of their gifts even more. So for everyone that auditions, for everyone that helps out, for playwrights, whomever it may be, thank you. This applause is for all of you. Thank you for being in the theater mode and in the arts and entertainment community. Later in the hour, Ian Reiland-Smith talks about his love of comedy, but coming up next, the very talented Danica Michaels tells us her story as a singer-songwriter on the Dave Holly Hour.
Comedy magician and hypnotist Jesse Moffat's right. He can't play the piano, but he can sure entertain crowds with his amazing magic and clever quips. His shows always make the participants the stars, especially when they've fallen asleep on stage. They've been hypnotized. Are you the party planner in your group? Then you owe it to your group to make the event magical, even if it puts you to sleep. Here's how.
For booking information, go to Jesse Moffitt Entertainment on Facebook. That's JESSEMOFFITT. Or call 605-929-0964.
Helping women feel empowered and confident is what Posh Boutique at the Bridges at 57th does, while supplying high-quality clothing that fits your lifestyle, personality, and price point. Whether you want comfy and cozy, casual attire, or something for a special occasion, Posh provides quality, selection, and value. They carry sizes extra small to 3X and have something appropriate for any age. Feel empowered and get confident. Posh Boutique at the Bridges at 57th.
He's a bit flirtatious, but most of all, fun. Once again, here's Dave Holly.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you are having yourself a wonderful week. Hopefully you've been able to get out of some of the snow from last week. Here at the Dipsy Doodle Production Studios, the front drive is still a little wicked, despite how much we've tried, but that's okay, because guess what comes in today? Yes, our snowblower. We get it. It will be arriving in the driveway very soon, hopefully, so we can take care of some of all that junk that's been out there. But you know what? It didn't stop some fun stuff from taking place over the past few weeks, despite all the snow, despite the fact that a guest of Late Night Boomin' had to be delayed 2 different months. So finally, we had the opportunity to close out the first season. And so Sean Covell, and he's a bigwig when it comes to motion pictures now. But anyway, and he'd be very humble and say, no, I'm not. But Sean's a great guy. But the highlight that evening for me was meeting this lovely lady across the table from me. Danica Michaels, how are you?
You are too kind. I'm so good. How are you?
Oh, if I were any better, I'd be twins.
Oh, well.
Yeah. But, back when I weighed 420 pounds, most people thought I was twins.
It happens. Well, congratulations on your weight loss.
Oh, thank you.
That's exciting.
Oh, you're exciting, though.
Oh.
My goodness gracious, you hit the stage, and it's just one of those things that people's ears immediately perk up. You are a singer-songwriter.
I am.
You also, plunk away on that guitar.
I'm trying.
Anything else that you play in terms of musical instruments?
I grew up on piano.
On piano, okay.
So many years of piano. But then once I found my niche in country music, I'm like, shoot, I picked the wrong instrument. I should have went with guitar. So now
or
I'm
a dobro or a banjo.
Something with strings, not keys. But that's okay. We always figure it out. I just started to learn guitar this past year. So I'm a little behind, but I'm actually picking up pretty quick just with my music background.
Yeah.
I've been able just to kind of pick up, and we're making progress.
And are you at this point playing by ear, or are you actually taking lessons?
Oh, I have to take lessons.
Okay.
I tried the whole let's try YouTube videos and teach myself.
Right.
Didn't go too hot.
Or
so,
what's a game? Guitar Hero or something?
Yeah, Guitar Hero. I mean, I play Guitar Hero, but it's just not the same.
It's not it, huh? And how many blisters do we have on our fingers?
You know, I was surprised. I think it's, I'm into fitness as well. And
Right.
I feel like I have good nutrition and good training. And for some reason, I never had calloused fingers.
Wow.
I think there's a lot to just having maybe
Being in
some
good
strong,
health, huh?
Yep, good
Yeah.
health, strong skin. And I really didn't have any issues with calloused fingers. So I'm really thankful.
All right. So what age was it that, was it mom that made you play piano?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I come from a musical family, and my
Okay.
mom's side is the musical family.
All right.
They all play piano. Some of them do play by ear. They can literally pick up any instrument and just play
I'm
it.
so jealous of those
A
people.
little bit jealous.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's okay. Hard work pays off. So mom got me on piano probably when I was, I don't know, 6, 7 years old.
And
I
how long?
hated it.
Okay. How long did it last before you, as you said earlier, found your niche with country music?
Oh gosh, so it's quite the journey. I honestly thought I was going to be a pop singer. I thought I
Mhm.
wanted to be like Jennifer Lopez. I was going to be in LA. I was going to be in Hollywood. And I left South Dakota with my music degree and I went to Las Vegas, city of entertainment, and I'm chasing my pop star dream, living the life, and I slowly but surely slowed down and wanted to come back to my country roots.
Okay.
And so after 5 years of doing Las Vegas,
Mm-hmm.
came back to South Dakota, and I just wanted to start anew. I wanted to kind of rediscover who I was. And I knew that was country music. I felt like I could be me. I felt like I could be genuine and real, authentic. I didn't want to get caught up in the whole famous thing. So I knew country music, I could do that. I could sing about anything that I wanted to, and I wouldn't be, I can sing about morals and values, and it's okay.
Were you already writing songs?
I was writing with my vocal coach in Las Vegas, and we do have a few songs. I should put them out because they were actually really great pop songs. So I was writing with her, so I understood the whole writing process, and I learned a lot from Heather Kafalis, my vocal coach. But then when I came back, I wanted to start a country music project, so we still do that, where we'll FaceTime or Zoom and really try to get these country hits out to you.
Yeah, so get the collaboration going and so forth. But
Exactly.
as you said you were writing some pop hit, or not pop hits necessarily, but pop songs.
Exactly.
But were you also already at that point even kind of realizing that it was going to go back to country?
Not at that time, because I really tried. I have a music video, and I had a different name at that time. So Danielle DeMonico was my pop star name, and I was really trying.
Were you
guys.
going back
you
to
can
the
YouTube
70s?
Me. I know it's actually
The
DeMonico.
DeMonico.
DeMonico is a wine, and I love wine. So DeMonico is where we got the name. But you can YouTube and you'll see great music videos, great music. And I'll be honest, it's expensive, and you do become poor and broke as a musician sometimes. So that was part of it too, where I was like, I'm putting a lot into this, and I wasn't seeing the return, and the doors kind of kept closing, and I'm like, I just got to go home for a minute and catch my breath. And then I started again to kind of realize that at heart, I'm the country girl. I grew up on country music. That is my daddy's choice of music. I hated it. He just would sit in the garage listening to the oldest country music. I hated every song. But then as I got older, and I like to say maybe wiser, I kind of opened my mind to, this is actually the music I absolutely love. It makes me feel at home.
Yeah. I was very fortunate when I grew up that we had a band teacher, and he would be very much like, Mr. Holland's Opus in terms of before he passed, if there would have been that type of gathering and so forth.
Wow.
It would have been a lot like that. But when he was in his last week of life, I went to the hospital to see him, and he had just had a biopsy done in his mouth, so it's filled with cotton. But he could still smile, and you could see twinkle in his eyes. And I told him, I said, Tom, I said, all the stuff that I ever got from athletics in high school is long gone. But there is one thing that stays in my office from 1981, and that is the Louis Armstrong Jazz Award.
Wow.
That you gave me.
Amazing.
And I said, the other thing is, anytime anybody ever finds out I've been in radio, they always ask, what's your favorite music? And I've never wavered. Good. Because he taught us such great appreciation for everything. And what I find out, at least in my life now, as I'm, 6 decades old, that I
That's
now
not
have
so-
even a greater appreciation of songs that I didn't appreciate growing up.
Absolutely.
And I will hear something now and go, that really was a good tune.
Yep.
Why did I have some sort of bias against it? And I was that way with country.
Yeah.
Because I, had visions of being a rock and roll DJ and all this. And the first place I get to play any type of music was in an old-fashioned AM down in Sioux City, Iowa, where it was all the instrumentals and so forth. But at least I love jazz, so we had that going. But then, when I really started to get some good jobs, country. I'm going to be at a country station.
There you go.
And got to enjoy a really good part of country in the mid to late 80s.
Yes.
Before it became all the hot country that it has now. And I karaoke a lot. And my wife says, she says, I'm surprised you don't sing more country songs because you love story songs.
Mm-hmm.
What is it about country music you love then?
Yeah, I mean, like you were just saying, the story is amazing. You can tell such great stories. Songwriting is such a craft, and you can really. So, Dodged a Bullet is my single, and I always tell people I wasn't so much of a writer until I wrote that song. It was therapy for me because I was going through like a hard time, and you can tell your story, and you can do so much through a song, and I just really through that process learned that I could share my heart, share my life, share my story, and in turn you're impacting other people because they've felt those things as well. And it's just this whole way just to connect with people. It's just it's a really beautiful thing.
All right, so aside from Dodge the Bullet, your own tune, who do you like when it comes to listening to country music?
I love so many, and it's like to narrow it down. I mean, Dolly Parton is just.
How can you not?
How could you not?
Right.
I mean, just all around person in general. I love her for her just who she is, but how she wrote her songs. I try to even sing like 9 to 5, and I'm like, how did she craft that song? And just she has such a cool sound to her voice that it's hard to duplicate Dolly. Like, she's just amazing. But like I said, I grew up on some of the oldest stuff from Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings. I mean, the old. And like you were saying, country has shifted so much from the 80s to the 90s to today. It's very pop today. And I understand that.
Yeah.
I can connect very wholeheartedly with people that might not like today's pop country and they like that older style. I get it. I appreciate both. I understand the pop, but sometimes I'm like, ooh, is that country?
Right.
So I really try to bring in more of that country sound. It's important just to keep the authenticity of the sound because, sometimes you listen to a song like we were just saying and it ain't country. I'm sorry.
That's why I always loved my crossover that helped me get into enjoying country more was Southern rock.
Absolutely.
And, 38 Special, Leonard Skinner.
Yep.
And, of course, a guy that was truly more country than Southern rock is my hero, the wonderful Charlie Daniels.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. Well, that's the thing. Country is very rock. Country rock is a very strong
It basically
category.
Started that way.
Yes. Even you listen to a lot of Carrie Underwood, and she is rocking in her songs. But she's another one of the of country artists that I really do look up to. You cannot duplicate that voice. She is gifted, and when you see her sing, oh my, that girl is quite the talent. Yes.
There's only one thing I don't like about her.
What's that?
And people can't see this, but she taps the microphone with her full hand. Every single song, every single measure.
She does. So, now that you say that, I do see that.
You do see it,
We all have our things, and that's one thing. Stage presence, that's a learning in itself.
The thing that always amazes me is like, I can't believe she doesn't have a producer that hasn't said something about that.
Her out on it. I know, because
but
I get coached on those things too.
But I bet the producer's also going, I'm making $500,000 a year just being her producer. I'm good.
That's right. Pick and choose your battles.
Exactly.
Right? Oh gosh. Yes.
What is it that you haven't written that you want to?
Oh my goodness, that is such a good. And I talk about this with people in my life because a lot of the songs they come from a place right now of being a girl that is upset because someone broke their heart. And I'd like to write more like, positive songs that maybe are about joyful things in life. And I have a lot of joy in my life. I'm a very happy person. So I need to take the time to write from that place, because I think it's so easy when you're angry or you're sad to write. Yeah. But you need to write about like the good too, because there is so much good. But like you always hear about the heartbreak song, right? So I got to get out of that heartbreak song. And I do. And I'm hoping that this winter, early spring, we'll be recording a song that I do sing at a lot of my shows that has really taken off.
Oh, good.
And it needs to be recorded. And I think it needs to be heard by more people. And it is a very positive song. It's not a heartbreak song. So we got to get that recorded and hopefully out to the listeners here this spring or summer.
All right. So you've got that coming up. But what else is there for you in terms of the writing? How many things are you writing at this time that you've, had the ideas, you've jotted them down, and now you're starting to find some lyric, some tone to it? How many of those are in the hopper?
It's if I could open my phone to you right now, there are hundreds
wow.
of songs. And when you start writing, you just go and you go and you go. And, you might be going about your day and all of a sudden you hear a phrase on the TV or you hear something in your mind. You just have to document. Like I'm constantly noting, documenting any phrases, any lyrics, any melody idea. I'm recording it into my voice note onto my phone.
Yeah.
I have so much in my phone I haven't even gotten to, and it takes a lot of time. You're trying to work full time and do music on the side. I mean, it's just a lot to balance. So it'd be amazing if you could do music full time, because then you would have the time to actually bring these songs to life.
Yeah. Do you wish to do music full time again?
It's the dream.
It's the dream.
It's the dream, but we'll see. You just don't know. A lot of people try to make it their dream, and I'm never going to quit. And I've had so many amazing opportunities this past year, and we'll just kind of see where the road leads. If it doesn't pan out that I do music full time, I know I'll be using it forever.
Right.
But, if you can make it and you can, lock that in as your full-time gig, I mean, that would be amazing.
Favorite lyric out of a song? Any song.
Gosh.
Name the song and then give us the lyric. And
I'll give you
mine.
Yeah, you should maybe go first because I got to think about this.
Okay.
I'm like the worst at, but yeah, you go with yours.
All right.
I might even have to look it up because I was just saying the other day about this one lyric, and let me just think on it.
Okay, well, you think on that.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is Glenn Campbell from the Wichita Lineman. I want you more than need you, and I need you for all time.
That is so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
And I got to interview him one time.
Did you?
Yes. And I started off with, what does it take to have a hit? And right out of the chute, he says it has nothing to do with the artist. It's everything to do with the songwriter. And he said, I happen to have one of the best. And Jimmy Webb, definitely.
It's so good. And if I can just pivot for just a second, the songwriters are really who should be getting a lot of the credit.
The awards, yes.
And so wherever you're listening, we're here in South Dakota, but there's a town called Deadwood, South Dakota, and they do a songwriters festival every year. I'm not sure if you're aware of it, but it's called the Wild West Songwriters Festival. And I was able to be a part of it a couple years ago. And that was the first time I sat down and I saw writers' rounds of all the songwriters singing their hits, that they wrote for Rascal Flatts, for Carrie Underwood. I mean, these are the true artists behind the music.
Right.
And it's a craft. Like, it's a true craft. And so we actually brought that same concept here to Sioux Falls last year. And we were able to get some people in from Nashville. And we need to give songwriters more credit. It's an amazing thing that they're doing. And it just takes a singer then just to sing it beautifully and deliver it to the radio. So.
Yeah, and that's one of the things is, on this show, you're not going to hear me interview anybody that has come to Sioux Falls as part of a big tour. I'm not going to have anybody that's performing out at the Denny Sanford. I want to have people that are performing down at our wine bar or whatever venue they can get into. And that's what I love to focus on, especially since so many of you are singer-songwriters. Mm-hmm. And so we're getting to hear more original things.
Exactly.
And then to follow on social media and see, some kudos that comes their way and, some accolades that are just like, wow.
Yes.
And, that person is, somebody is real, that's here, They're not surrounded by an entourage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I feel like in country music, that was so important to me because I wanted to be real and authentic. And
Right.
I didn't want to be like this puffed up like celebrity. I don't want that. I just want to be like, I'm just an everyday person that can sing. And so
Yeah.
I'm going to sing for you. I don't want this to become like this whole celebrity thing. And to your point, we have so much great local talent in this city. It's
phenomenal.
Crazy. And thank you for highlighting that
Yeah.
because, you know, not everyone makes it, quote unquote, makes it, but
Right.
we can still use our gifts and talent and do great things.
No doubt. And it's wonderful that you provide that and give of that gift as well.
Thank you.
So great to have been on the same stage as well with you.
So fun. Musical
and-
Chairs was fun.
Yes. Some guy in a wheelchair won it, though.
I know.
How did that
I really
happen?
thought I was the winner. And then
I
it's
know you
okay.
did. Yeah.
No hard feelings.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
You know, because Mr. Potter has quite the sensitive side to him, despite his gruff exterior.
Yeah, exactly. It's no problem.
All right. Obviously, for you, then, when it comes to being a songwriter, the songwriting part comes first. Because I quite often will say, okay, when you're putting together a song, is it the, melody that hits you at some point? You're just having this little riff go through, and then you figure out some lyrics, but it sounds like you hear that lyric first.
Yeah, it can go both ways, honestly. Every song is different.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll hear the phrase or I'll have a phrase and I'll jot that down. But then a lot of the times a great melody will come into my head and then I'll just start placing some lyrics with the melody and it just kind of comes together. I mean, it's really a creative process. There is structure and there can be structure to it, but it can be very organic too. And I tend to be more organic. And then when I collaborate with people that will co-write with me, we'll get down and really structure out like specific lyrics.
Right.
And maybe we got to tweak the melody here or there to make it better or to fit the lyric better.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Speaking of lyrics, did you determine what it is?
Okay, let me think on this. And I hate being put on the spot because I have to.
There's so many.
There's so many.
Yeah.
And I was just having this conversation with my friend the other day that, oh my gosh, that lyric is so good. And now I can't think of it. Honestly, right now I have Isn't It Ironic by Alanis Morissette in my head. I don't know why, but again, the brain, for some reason, I get random songs in my head, but one hand in my pocket.
There's always those little things that you might have heard and not even realized you heard.
Exactly.
And they pop up from time to time.
I must have heard some Alanis
Earbugs
Morissette.
that'll drive you crazy.
Yes.
Because, sometimes they're not songs you like that happens with.
Yes. I'm a big Kelsey Ballerini fan. She has a
Mm-hmm.
new song out called, I think it's called With What I Have, maybe. But it just talks about the simplicity of life. And I like her lyric, I got a Jeep, I got a dog, I got what they call a dream job. I'm doing all right with what I have. Basically, the simplicity of life is really what makes you whole as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole song, the lyrics, if y'all look it up, because I just botched it pretty good, just look it up and read it. And I just think it's very powerful on how and that's what country music, I think you can just really talk about your Jeep, your dog, the lake, the good old country life, and that just the simplicity,
the
gravel road.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all you need, right?
Yeah, very true. It doesn't take a lot to.
It doesn't take a lot.
And the other thing that I've always loved about music is the fact that you will hear something that was popular 30 years, 40 years ago, and that memory hits, and you can go back to and pinpoint
Absolutely.
where you were when you
Absolutely.
first heard it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think of that with Minute by Minute by the Doobie Brothers.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yep. Well,
driving an old 4-door red Cutlass of my parents, and I was 16, thinking I was really cool.
Oh, love it. I've had songs I lost a grandparent when I was very young, and Wind Beneath My Wings, was that Bette Midler?
Oh, Bette Midler.
That was in his funeral. And so I was in second grade, and that song would continuously play in my head, even in second grade. And it actually made me so sad. And it probably would still make me very sad to this day, but I just remember that song will completely connect me back to that moment when I lost my grandfather. So, yeah.
Yeah,
music is powerful.
Very powerful, and all forms of it, and all genres. Although there are some genres I don't like as much as others, but
I agree.
I
do.
still try to find something good out of it.
Yes.
And in fact, I'll bring this up as well. Yeah. One of the other things that is so great about music, like right now, and I hinted toward this earlier when we were talking about, I can hear a song now and appreciate it that I didn't.
Yep.
And my good friend Mike Hendrickson always says, that live music is good for the soul. And that's so true.
It's so true.
I happen to be in another podcast that actually does a live stage show called Midtown Coffee Radio Hour. Right. And I just do the MC stuff and introduce the band. And I get to sit there on this stage and look over at these talented people and watch them, first of all, smile and have such a great time, because it's true joy that's on their faces, because they are in their element. They are in what brings them happiness. And then I'll look back and the drummer Tyson is back there and he'll just be smiling the whole time and he'll give me a little wink like, yeah, isn't this cool?
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you see that with diehard people that tour. Like some people, how many times I feel like Garth Brooks said he's going to retire and then he comes back with another tour. These people, they live and breathe music, and even like George Strait. I'm a huge George Strait fan. We just went and saw him a few months ago down in Nebraska, and he's going to do it until the day he dies. I swear, because you cannot give up what you love. Like, it is just a part of their soul, and it's a part of me too, but like that's at a whole level where they're touring all over the world and it's just in them. You know?
And George Strait, Amarillo by Morning is one of my karaoke faves.
So
I love going to that one.
So
and The Chair too.
Oh my gosh, don't even get me started.
but back to live music part, is they do a lot of songs that I've maybe heard once and passed it off on the radio, but then I hear them play it live, and it's like, that's better than hearing it on the radio.
Absolutely.
And there's just such emotion that can come through, and
and
everything that you feel, get all those vibes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Zach Brown Band.
Man, he's got some cool stuff.
Oh man, have you seen him live?
I have not seen it live.
Just like drink some coffee or whatever you do for some energy, because it takes, like, it's so intense but amazing. You're like, how do they do this night after night? It is just in your face, intense. Like, they bring it to a whole different level from the album, from the recordings. Zach Brown Band live, wow.
Well, I'll have to keep my eye out for that one then.
Absolutely.
So when people come see you, what can they expect?
I like to have a lot of fun and just a lot of, I want to connect with you. I want it just to be a good time. It's a lot of these shows, you can grab a drink and you can just be with your friends, and that's what it's all about. I just want to bring life.
God bless it.
Yeah. I just want to bring life, and it's, if it's a Friday night or if it's a Wednesday night, we're going to party and we're going to have a good time.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
So tell me, when you are not, these are my traditional 2 questions at the end.
Perfect.
When you are not part of the arts and entertainment scene, what do you enjoy being entertained by?
Ooh, that's not arts and entertainment? Or
no,
that is
arts and entertainment. What do you like to be entertained by?
I am not. I will first say what I'm not entertained by. Is that bad?
Not at all.
Because right away I'm thinking, like, I'm just not a screen person, so I don't spend like time watching movies. It's been me and my boyfriend loves movies. I do not. And so if I'm going to be entertained, it has to be something live, and it can't be music. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Or it can be music.
It can be music too.
Oh, it can be music. Every country show or I wouldn't say any genre, but most country shows, you will see me there. We have some great acts. We have Kenny Chesney coming to town. We have Blake Shelton coming to town. And of course, I already have my tickets, but I am a live concert junkie.
All right. Good for you. All right. What about hobbies?
Hobbies. I'm a big fitness junkie. I work out every day except the weekends. I take the weekends off, but I'm really into health and fitness.
Yeah. Would you do that for me then too? Do my workouts?
I'll try to squeeze one in for you. Yeah.
Thank you. Because I'm trying to squeeze into other things.
I know. It's not easy. But fitness, I love to travel. Like, if I can break away and just get to a beach in the winter, and in the summer we're on the lake, that is my happy place.
Good for you. Well, my happy place is being behind a microphone and looking across the table and having a wonderful person such as
You're too
you
kind.
sit down here
Thank you.
and get to know you a little bit better and to let everybody else. One of the things I always tell guests is the fact that, when you have an event coming up in town, you will get on all 16 of the commercialized radio station licenses in town for about 3 to 5 minutes each time. This was, fastest 27 minutes of your life?
Absolutely. It was a quick one.
Fantastic.
It was so much fun.
All right.
Pleasure
it was
being
a
here.
blast. Thank you so much,
Thank
Danica.
you. So much fun.
Appreciate it. And we'll be back. Comedian Ian Reiland-Smith is coming up next on the Dave Holly Hour.
Dr. Perry Langston and Dr. Corey Tooney know excellence is in you. That's why they provide you with excellent care at XO Chiropractic, improving your overall health in spirit, body, mind, and will. Get results the natural way. Arrange a consultation, 605-332-9235 or exokairos.com. Excellent care for excellent people. XO Chiropractic, located at 4309 South Racket Drive in Sioux Falls.
Sure, they have darts, and you've heard me talk about how ruggedly handsome the trivia host is, but all caps fun never stops at the Sky Lounge and Tea. And fun is best had with your friends enjoying live entertainment, as in live and local. Yeah, the Sky Lounge believes in giving you the best bands, solo artists, and comedians from the area. The Neo Johnsons, Elizabeth Hunstead, Skylar Bolks, as well as many others. And a great staff will make sure you enjoy your fun at the Sky Lounge in Tea, South Dakota.
Time for more arts and entertainment talk on the Dave Holly Hour.
Welcome back, everybody. Always a pleasure to talk Siouxland, Sioux Empire, arts and entertainment. And it's even better when he's not technically a first-time guest.
No.
Because he has been on before in a big group after a picnic. But first time in studio as a solo guest, comedian Ian Reiland-Smith. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well, Dave. How
Glad
about you?
to hear that. If I were any better, I'd be twins.
Wow.
Yeah, and back when I weighed 420 pounds, most people thought I was twins.
I weigh about 420 pounds right now.
Big lunch?
Well, yeah. We went to Perkins Sunday.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, it's
That'll
for the normie listeners. It's Thursday, but for us,
right,
it's Sunday.
but Sunday.
So
yeah,
every
because
Sunday
recording.
I go to Perkins and I.
It's a
I chow
traditional
down.
thing.
It is a traditional thing. Yep.
Because it's your day off for one thing, right?
Yep, it's a Smith family tradition. One of my girlfriends started following me and my dad. They talk about like medical stuff. It's pretty cute.
Medical stuff, and you're a comedian that also happens to work at a music store.
Yep, I work at a music store. I work at Poplar's Music.
Yeah, so give them the free plug right now while you can.
Yeah, they're not paying me to plug them, but
okay, so
they should be.
Moving on. All right, what got you into comedy?
Well, I always loved making people laugh.
Yeah.
So, when I went to college, I thought I'd try, just doing some. I saw a bunch of edgelords on the internet, and I was like, they're trying to be funny, but I can be funnier than these guys. So I tried to be funny just for some friends, and they thought I was funny, but I had no real ambition of going on stage. Till I moved back here after college. Then I found out there's this open mic, and I was like, oh, I might as well check it out.
Right.
Then I check it out, and I got some laughs. I got that high of the crowd,
Yes.
You ever been in front of a crowd and they sort of like you?
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah. And when they actually like you, it's even better.
Oh, yeah. It's so much better when they actually like you.
Now, in that opening mic, did you do the same thing that I did the first time that I was at one? Because I went to a few before I actually participated in one. And, I was like, no. And I was like, okay, out of the 13 tonight, I think I could have been about the 7th funniest, so I might as well do it.
Yeah.
Did you do that in your mind at all?
No. My first mic I went to, I just dove straight in.
Okay.
I had no idea what to expect from an open mic. A few people were funny. I was caught off guard by that. I thought there'd be some people who weren't very funny. Well, there were people who weren't very funny, but not as many as I was expecting.
Did you have bits already written?
Not really.
Or forming in your mind? Or did you just kind of go up and start talking?
I had something kind of maybe that I prepared. I don't exactly remember. I remember doing some really, really stupid one-liner jokes that I'll occasionally do, like, what's a bodybuilder's favorite streaming service? And the answer to that is Netflix. Just some really stupid stuff.
Who do you admire on a national, big stage when it comes to comedians?
Comedians, I really like Trevor Noah.
Oh,
Trevor Noah
I do
just
too.
absolutely crushes it.
Yeah.
He's just funny. Like he's I don't know what he does.
There are those type of people, aren't there? I mean, there's people that can tell a joke. There are people that write great bits. And then there are some people that just up on stage, no matter what the hell they do, you're going to laugh.
Yeah.
And it's always so fun, and that always, it pleases an old man like me, because then it makes me think of, some of the older style comedians and so forth.
Yeah, I really like Carlin too. He's about as old as I can think of.
Yeah, and he was one of the top in the craft. That man could tell a story, and people forget they think mostly HBO specials, so he could let fly with any language and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
But prior to that, anytime he was on Johnny Carson, and it had to be clean, he still was amazingly funny. So it wasn't that just the guy got up and told dirty jokes and so forth. No, I mean the man was clever for one thing. What do you like to see in a local comedian such as yourself, besides getting up and just making people laugh? What is the skill part that you really enjoy bringing into a setting?
Well, I just keep doing it. I keep chugging along.
Yeah.
Show momentum kind of. I keep going. If a joke doesn't do very well, oh well, doesn't matter to me.
Right.
I'll just keep going to the next one. Maybe the crowd will like the next one better.
Yeah.
And sometimes they do, and sometimes they continue to hate me.
Well, and the other thing that's funny about that, pardon the pun, is the fact that, sometimes you will tell something on stage, nothing. 2 nights later, you tell the same thing, uproarious laughter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've had that before.
And so then it makes it tough to judge, doesn't it? As to,
bit.
Well, do I keep this in the set or don't I?
You have to keep different sets. I have a batch of material that I like to call my standard repertoire.
Mm-hmm.
It's just jokes that would work, that I think would work in any setting where I would need like 10 minutes to pull out of my ass.
Yeah.
I just have, I could use this bit and that bit. Call it 10 minutes. I have a similar thing for 30 minutes, except I keep messing up. I have a joke about God doing something not very good. He gives people cancer.
Oh.
Yeah, because he likes them.
Oh.
He wants to meet them.
That's a little dark.
It's very dark.
Yeah.
I usually lose audiences on that
I
one.
can imagine so.
Yeah.
But do you have a headliner set too?
I think I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I can put together 50 to 60 minutes.
Right.
Usually for my headlining sets, I've headlined twice.
Okay.
And for both of those sets, I like to get out my instruments because I'm a classically trained percussionist.
That's right.
So I bring with me my little bullshit percussion instruments, like the crash cymbal. The crash cymbals. There's been wars fought over the crash cymbals.
True. Yeah.
You know what the Crusades were about?
Crash cymbals.
Absolutely.
Yep.
It wasn't about Muhammad
No,
and Jesus. No. It was about whether you play crash cymbals going up or down.
Oh, in your preference?
I'm a down guy.
Okay, you're down with it.
I've got the downs, yep.
Yeah, I can imagine that out of you. So what do you think is going to be the future of local comedy? I mean, it's been building. We've got the Snow Jam coming up again. You're going to be coming up on Friday night, the 13th, by the way.
The 13th.
Hopefully a lucky night for you, down at Boss's.
Yep.
But you will be competing against the guy doing trivia across the street. Watch out for that. But you're going to be at Boss's and Tea, and quite a few on that slate and this is a competition as well, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is a competition, and we're gonna be tattered and broken by the end of it because we don't like to fight each other, but
true.
At the end of the day, there has to be a winner.
Exactly.
And it has to be me.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so we're going in with confidence then. Do you play off of other comedians' bits?
occasionally, not very often. If it's a bit I don't like very much, I might play off of it. Like there's a comedian who had a bit that I didn't think was very funny. So I had my own bit where I took the same concept, but I was like, wait, I don't care. And people thought it was funny, so it's like, should I keep it or should I not keep it? Even though it is me directly responding to a joke I don't really like.
Are there things happening right now in the news that, or just in society, that you're taking in and soaking up and going, "Ooh, I've got something for this"?
Recently?
Yeah.
Not a whole lot recently. I think the last current event thing I tried was something in the Ukraine war. I had a joke about how Vladimir Putin was secretly gay.
Yeah, I've heard that joke.
Yes, and he just went through a bad breakup. He was like, I am banning homosexuality in Russia because if I can't have you, Dmitry, no one can.
What happens, because you were talking earlier about, a joke that you would tell that would lose an audience. When you hit that, what's the immediate feeling when you've done a joke that doesn't just not fly, but it's also the fact that it was a little social hit and so forth?
Yeah, they just don't like it. Well, it doesn't feel good to tell a joke and then have it fall flat. That never feels great. But at the same time, it's a little funny to yourself. You're just like...
Well, I think everything is funny, because we talk about that when it comes to comedy, that it's based off tragedy quite often.
Sometimes, yeah.
And, so there's those things that happen. And, what's been the catchphrase over the past 20-some years now, when there is a social event and somebody makes a joke, and that social event isn't quite over yet. Oh, too soon?
Oh, yeah. Oh, too soon?
Too soon?
Oh, I was just joking, bro.
Yeah, and I was thinking of that. I thought of a bit, I can't even remember it now, but it was earlier today. And I thought, oh, too soon? But no, it was from like 25 years ago.
Oh.
But I was making the joke off of the too soon part then, that, here's what everybody says. Just like, there are so many things that to come up that you want to talk about, and then you go, do I work on that yet, or do I hold off? What's something that you definitely won't approach?
Something I won't approach. I've approached a lot of things. I tend to stay away from directly making fun of trans people because it's hard to make that funny.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my priority usually when making jokes is funny, and I have kind of a ratio of a risk-reward ratio. Sometimes I'll come up with
in this. You're a mathematician as well as a percussionist?
A little bit.
Okay.
It's a bit of it's more of an art than a science.
Uh-huh.
But there are sometimes I come up with jokes that, I shouldn't say, but maybe someone else could say them, and it would be just fine.
I know that, in the Sioux Falls community, the Sioux Empire community of comedians, even going down to Sioux City and around, everybody's pretty collaborative and so forth, and wants to help everybody out.
Mm-hmm.
But you all still pretty much are writing your own material.
Yes.
But you'll get help from somebody that says, hey, what if you tried it in this voice? What if you switched it around personalities and things like that? But do you ever think of yourself as becoming, maybe a joke writer for a show or something?
I think so.
Yeah.
I have a couple jokes that I have helped other comedians around town with.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's very possible. I think I could be a joke writer for someone else.
Because I always I get such a kick out of that when somebody is finally hitting the big time on a stage, and it's like, well, who was this guy? Then you find out that he wrote for the Tonight Show, or he wrote for James Corden, or whomever, and it's like, oh yeah, well that guy's got some chutzpah. Then he's got things going on, and then you kind of go back and you start researching older comedians, and sure enough, they were writing first before they got their break. So what do you think, if you can dream right now and see yourself on a big stage, How are you going to get there?
Well, I think the first step is to leave Sioux Falls.
Okay.
That seems to be what every I've purchased a master class before. I purchased Steve Martin's master class, and his first step to becoming a successful comedian is GTF out of Dodge. Get out of Dodge. Am I allowed to cuss?
Slightly, but
slightly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if you wish, I'll just put the disclaimer on it.
I'll keep a leash on it then.
Okay.
I won't cuss too much. But yeah, he
call
said
it the French
he
door
said get out of Dodge.
Right.
Get out of Dodge, you buffoon.
Ooh.
Go to a city with people in it. Because Sioux Falls is fine. Sioux Falls is a fine city with fine people. But we don't have
an
a big
immense
enough
amount
audience.
of talent.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent. There's too much talent per capita. We need more.
You just hit what I was thinking as you were talking
population.
about it. It's like, it's interesting because I remember, I grew up down in Rock Rapids, and driving up here, that's what you did. Go to the big city of Sioux Falls, at which time was 68 to 80,000. And, now we're over 200,000. And we've got this immense amount of talent, but yet we're not.
No one to enjoy it.
Yeah, it's about the same amount of people that were still going to things years ago.
Yeah. Where are they? They're just staying at home.
Well, during the last week's snowstorm, we had to, but
even the past few years of the pandemic, making us stay home a lot more. I think some people just kind of got stuck in that,
and took it as an excuse to do so too.
Yeah, now that they don't have that excuse anymore, they're just like, well, I just like it. I'm allowed to just like not going out.
True, but
which they are. But
you can't change a person's personality.
At the same time, come see me do comedy,
right.
Please. I want people to look at me when I bomb, or when I tell a great joke, when I tell the funniest joke I ever told for the first time at some crappy bar, in a basement with no Wi-Fi.
And somebody still laughed.
That's not the crappiest bar. If they've got comedy, then they're not the crappiest bar.
Right.
I should say that.
No,
because I want more bars to do comedy, so that I have more stage time.
I will tell you the crappiest bar after we're finished conversing today.
Yeah,
one that actually smells like urine.
Oh,
yeah, and it's located near Falls Park.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I know this bar.
Well, their icon is something that's up in the sky at night.
Oh,
yeah, and it's the opposite of gold.
Silver?
Oh, you're catching on.
Silver and gold?
Silver Moon.
Oh.
Man. Whew. Oh.
I've never been there.
Oh. I
like
wouldn't.
Urine, you said.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
The town of Urine, South Dakota?
See, you're with me on that, too, because I've always said the only thing that Huron rhymes with is urine.
I've been to Huron. It seems to me like it feels like the town God forgot,
I performed up there a couple of summers.
Oh, how was it?
Yeah. Actually, one of those Wednesday night type of band shell things. And went well.
That's good.
Decent, and the pay was okay, so
that's good.
Yeah.
I kind of like playing in small towns. Small town shows are the best in my opinion, because they're all out. They're all there. Everyone in town is there to see you. And, well, if you're doing a good job, then they really love you. And if you're not doing a good job, then, I hope you have a good accelerator on your car.
What's the smallest performance you've ever had in terms of attendance?
I'd have to say there's a show I did with Zach Dresch up in Goodwin, South Dakota.
Okay.
It's just this small shack outside of Watertown. We had a whopping 4 audience members.
You beat me.
Yeah.
Oh,
I beat you? 4 audience?
Yes. Because Jerry Irby and I did a show just a few minutes after a tornado down in Canton, and we had 6 in attendance.
Wow.
Ooh, so you've got the record.
Yep, 4.
Wow.
4. They were great audience members. They paid attention. They laughed at all my jokes. I think they even laughed at the one where God gives kids cancer because he likes them. And I'm like, wow, must be some kid if God wants to meet him.
So, obviously, you were able to tally, Well, 4 people, they all laughed. 100% show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, one of the things I've
got
loved
$10 for that show.
recently is our probably mutual friend, because I think you've been out there before, Spellbound Magic, Travis and I.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Travis and I both used to be in the Magic Club here in town. And so there's a national magician that we both love. And that guy made just this really cheesy movie about being a magician called Billy Toppet. But my favorite part of the movie, because it's a lot of cheese, but each morning all these entertainers go to the same place in Las Vegas for their 99-cent type breakfast and so forth. Well, the one waitress is always asking about their shows and so forth, and so she'll say, "Well, how'd your show go last night?" And he says, "Were you there?" "No, killed."
Yeah.
So, if nobody else was there, you can always say killed.
Exactly.
Yeah. How was your show? Killed. Only 6, but all of them liked it.
I will say that audience of 4 was a better show than there was this one time I had a show down in T with the big room and bosses. And it was a full room, and you could have swore they attended a funeral before.
Wow.
Because they didn't laugh at anything.
Ooh.
They didn't laugh at
that would be a tough one.
They didn't laugh at me. They didn't laugh at Preston, who was featuring.
Yeah.
And they didn't even really laugh at the headliner.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, it was rough.
Ooh, was it a certain convention that was was going on or anything?
No, it was back in November. I don't know. I'll have to get the calendar out, see if there's some sort of like morticians convention going on.
Actually, I partied with morticians. They're quite the opposite.
They're
actually.
quite the
yeah.
I can believe that they're fun people.
They let loose.
Yeah.
So when you have a show where you're performing in front of 4 people, then because you say, well,
yeah,
do you find yourself going, what the hell? I'm going for it. I'm just letting it all out.
Yeah, if those 4 people showed up to my show, and they paid to be there, they're getting my show.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give them the paid experience.
Right.
They're gonna get their money's worth. I'm not gonna waste their money.
All right. So what's a biggest crowd or biggest venue?
I think the biggest crowd I've had is probably the Bosses and Tea. Mm-hmm. It's a big room.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And I've had that room full. And that was for the clean show, the clean jokes with regular folks. There was a trio out of Colorado.
Those.
Yeah. And I hosted for that show, and they loved me. That was a big room. They were very well behaved. It was really nice.
What do you explain to people that don't know much about comedy about the difference between hosting, opening, feature, and headline?
Well, the host is basically the MC. Mm-hmm. They'll maybe get 5 or 10 minutes, and they're just they're there to keep the show going. They're the lubricant in the show.
I'm glad you didn't say glue.
Glue, no.
Yeah.
They keep it moving.
Right, yeah.
Glue would... Some hosts are like glue, and, well, I'm not big on her. Anyway, opening... I guess you could call it featuring too. Featuring, opening, featuring. I use them interchangeably, but the feature set is usually somewhere like 20 to 30 minutes, and they kind of get they're like an extra comedian.
Right.
Because it's hard to watch someone talk for an hour, and it's even harder to watch them talk for an hour and a half. So it's nice to have someone else with that extra half hour, because generally these shows are 90 minutes. Yeah. There's usually the host, 10 minutes, the feature 20 to 30 minutes, and then the headliners like usually 45 to an hour, depending on how the crowd is feeling usually.
Have you had that experience for yourself where you've been on a roll and you weren't the headliner and you could have kept going and you had them?
Usually in open mics I get that. Like Monks, a lot of times they really liked me down at Monks for some reason. I don't know. A lot of times I'd think, oh man, you guys have probably had enough of me. And then I'd hear a table go, no, we haven't. Say more jokes. I was like, okay, are you sure? Are you sure you want me to do that?
What can we expect Friday night at the Bosses?
You can expect to laugh a lot.
How many comedians total?
I think there's 12.
Okay, so I counted the pictures right.
I'll have to look at the poster again. But I think it is 12.
So on a night like that, red lights.
I think they're gonna light us somewhere.
Okay. Yeah.
I think if we go over time, we'll probably be disqualified.
Yeah, but so on a night like that where it's a competition, they got that many. What are we looking at? A 10-minute set, maybe, or
I think it's gonna be like 7 to 8 minutes.
7 to 8. So okay.
Just because if it's 10-minute sets for everyone, that's gonna be
a long night.
That by itself is
2 hours, right?
And then there's a host who's none of these 12 comedians competing. Plus also last year's winner. So this is already more than a 2-hour show.
Oh, yeah. All right.
If it's at 10 minutes.
Well,
so we did 7 to 8 minutes.
If trivia finishes early, I'll hop across the street and see you. Yeah.
Trivia on a Friday night?
Yeah, Friday the 13th.
Oh.
Yeah, at the Sky in T.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'll be hosting that. You'll be over there in the big room. And so I will make my way if I can make my part go fast.
Maybe you'll be able to make it to my set.
I would love to. I would enjoy taking that in. I've seen you, probably a dozen times, and have always enjoyed it. So always look forward to seeing you, not just on stage, but also, there are some other things what we end up being at the same time.
Yep.
You being a mascot for a certain late night show.
Absolutely.
Me being a recurring old fart for a mascot show.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so that's a fun thing. But also, Poplar's music, you said they're not paying you to, pump them up.
I guess I can pump them up a little bit.
Just talk about, because obviously that started because you are a percussionist.
Yep, I'm a classically trained musician. I went to USD, got my degree there, and I needed a job after college. So I was like, I guess I could work at a music store. And I do use a lot of what I learned in college, a lot of music history, a lot of music theory knowledge. Sometimes people come in and they ask me, hey, what is that? What's that note? And I'll tell them, oh, that's an E flat. And they're like, oh, how do you know that's an E flat? I'll be like, because I went to school.
I paid thousands to know it's an E flat.
Yeah.
So behind you,
Oh.
I think, there's a tambourine, there's a shaker egg, and there's a couple Christmas little thingies. Pick one up.
Okay.
Yeah. And we want to,
yeah.
I want to hear what just improving right now, but you're a stand-up guy, but just to take that, since it is a percussion instrument, let's hear it.
It's a stick of jingle bells, and I was actually the top jingle bell player at USD.
Oh,
so,
excellent. It's in your realm.
Yeah, they had me play the jingle bells for Sleigh Ride, which
love that tune.
They needed a steady eighth note.
Oh,
so you have to hit it very suggestively.
Yes. See, because most people pick that up and just shake it.
Yeah, they don't get it.
They don't do it right. Now I know.
Yeah, you have to do it. You have to hit it like this. Yeah. Very suggestively.
And we're not on video, so you can't see it, but you can let your imagination take over. All right.
The ones who know what suggestively means, they'll know what it means.
Exactly. Ian Reiland-Smith, when you are not on stage, not percussioning or anything, what do you like to be entertained by?
Entertained by? I play this video game called Stellaris. You're an empire in space, and you can be good aliens, you can be bad aliens, you can be robots, you can be good robots, you can be bad robots, you can be a hive mind, you can be all sorts of things. And I like the sci-fi and the space battles, and I like managing economies, some real nerd stuff. Managing economies, internal politics, external politics.
And how many hours an evening?
An evening? I've been really busy lately, so I haven't been able to really play Stellaris very much.
Okay, so it's not one of those addictions where, you've missed a couple of days' work or anything.
No, I haven't done that. Not yet, anyways. Maybe someday.
All right.
I'm tempted.
Any hobbies?
Hobbies?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that was the Stellaris was kind of kind of a hobby.
Quite often that takes over when we ask the entertainment question.
I am writing a novel.
Oh.
sort of. It's a sci-fi thing.
Okay.
Based on my Stellaris
that?
game. I used to play the Stellaris a lot more, but now I've just been so busy lately with life.
Yeah.
I got a life. I go outside and I hang out with a bunch of beautiful women instead of playing video games. So
You
I
are
guess
a smart man.
I didn't think they were mutually exclusive, but it turns out they are.
Oh, yeah.
Fellas, if you're listening to this, put down the controller and ask her out. You're not gonna get a date playing Call of Duty. She doesn't care what your KD ratio is.
Oh,
she cares what your credit score is.
Funny to the end today, even. All right. Ian, thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah, pleasure to have you here. And we will be back to wrap up the Dave Holly Hour in just a moment.
Helping women feel empowered and confident is what Posh Boutique at the Bridges at 57th does, while supplying high-quality clothing that fits your lifestyle, personality, and price point. Whether you want comfy and cozy, casual attire, or something for a special occasion, Posh provides quality, selection, and value. They carry sizes extra small to 3X and have something appropriate for any age. Feel empowered and get confident. Posh Boutique at the Bridges at 57th.
Ladies, when it's time to give your nails some love, get that extra special treatment from Quality Nails on South Minnesota Avenue in Sioux Falls. Manicures and pedicures that look great and make you feel fantastic. Zaya and Tony provide professional care for your hands and feet, whether you just want the basics or an extra special look with added flair. Oh, and guys, it's okay to treat yourself too. Quality Nails. Call for an appointment. 605-334-1463.
From the Dipsy Doodle Studios at the world headquarters of Big D Entertainment, a 40-square-foot home studio in the middle of America, it's Dave Holly.
Thanks again to those great guests, Danica Michaels and Ian Reiland-Smith. And, of course, thank you for listening, downloading, sharing, following in social media, and your overall support of this show. Now, if you haven't done so far, follow us on Facebook and Instagram, which automatically gets you entered for Pizza with a Podcaster. For all 162 episodes, simply go online, DaveHollyHour.com. You'll find it all there. As the Sioux Falls Arts Council says, together we art. As Arts South Dakota says, home is where the art is. As I say, put some art in your heart. Remember, I'm Dave Holly, and for me, every day is a holiday.
The Dave Holly Hour has been brought to you by Posh Boutique, The Sky in Tea, XL Chiropractic, Quality Nails, Jesse Moffitt Entertainment, and Sonny's Pizzeria. If you would like to contribute to the continued success of this podcast, simply buy Dave a cup of coffee. Go to DaveHollyHour.com and look for a coffee cup icon in the lower left. Don't forget to stay up to date on the show on Twitter and Instagram. Follow the Dave Holly Hour on Facebook, and you'll be automatically entered in our Pizza with a Podcaster contest. The Dave Holly Hour is produced in the Dipsy Doodle Studios by Big D Entertainment.
Thanks for listening.